Good day, students. Welcome to part 3 of the review session. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 10. It says, Viola drives 23 kilometers uphill, that is at a grade of 11 degrees. What horizontal distance to the nearest tenth of a kilometer has she covered? All right, so let's go ahead and make a sketch of the situation. So she goes uphill 23 kilometers, and it's at an angle of 11 degrees. So this is 11 degrees right here. This is 23 kilometers. So it says, what's the horizontal distance she covered? So we call this x. Now, since this is the angle under consideration, this is your 90-degree angle. This side up here will be your hypotenuse, and this would be your adjacent. Okay, so what trig ratio relates the hypotenuse and the adjacent in SOHCAHTOA? In SOHCAHTOA, the trig ratio that relates to the two of them is cosine K. Okay, so we have cosine 11 equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse. All right, to get x by itself, multiply both sides by 23. And then our answer will be x equals 23 cosine 11. Let's plug that into our calculator and see what we get. For that's 23 cosine 11. And the answer is 22.5. Or 22.6 to the nearest 10th. All right, so 22.6. So x is approximately 22.6 kilometers. All right, and our answer is option C. All right, let's take a look at question 11. It says convert 1 over 10 pi to degrees. All right, so we're converting 1 over 10 pi to degrees. So in this case, we can write 1 over 10 as pi over 10, and then multiplied by 180 over pi. So the pi's divide out. The zeros divide out. If you multiply across, you have 18 degrees. Okay? So the radian measure of 1 over 10 pi in degrees, the degree measure of 1 over 10 pi radians is 18. Okay? All right, let's take a look at question number 12. Convert 9 degrees to radians. So 9 degrees, to convert this to radian, I'm going to multiply it by the conversion factor with the degree on the bottom, namely pi over 180 degrees. All right, so the pi's cancel out. 9 goes here 1, 9 goes here 20 times. So our answer is pi over 20. You can also write this as 1 over 20 pi. Final answer is option C. All right, let's take a look at question 13. It says, which of the following is y equals sine x? Just a real quick review. Remember, your sine is like an S starting from the origin. See, sine is like an S. Let's go ahead and sketch that. And cosine is like a cup starting from the origin, so it looks something like this. Okay, so we were looking at sine. Which one starts from the origin and goes make an S in the upward direction is option C. All right, so that goes our answer. All right, number 14. What's the value of cosine? To do this, we're going to consult our table of common trig angles. So let's bring that up. So we're looking for cosine pi. So we have cosine here and pi. We meet at -1. All right. So cosine pi is -1. All right. So let's indicate that. Let's see. Cosine pi from the chart is -1. Final answer is B. All right, let's take a look at number 15. It says find the exact value of 12 sine 135. So what we'll do is we'll use our table of common trig angles to figure out what this sine component is and then multiply by 12. So we have 12 times. Now what is sine 135? Take up our units, our table of common trig angles. So sine 135 is root 2 over 2. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. Root 2 over 2. So how do we reduce this? We just write this as 12 over 1, divide by 2. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 2. And then when we multiply it across, we're going to have, actually 2 goes here 6 times, not 2 times. 2 divided by, 12 divided by 2 is 6. All right, and then when we multiply across, we'll have 6 root 2. So our final answer is option B. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question 16 says find the exact value of 2 cosine negative 3 pi over 4. So we use our table of concentric angles to find what cosine negative 3 pi over 4 is, and then we can double our result. Alright, so let's see. The negative angular measures on the bottom. We're looking for, let's see what we're looking for again, cosine negative 3 pi over 4. So negative 3 pi over 4 is down here. Trace it up to cosine. Cosine is the second row. We see that is negative root 2 over 2. That's the answer, negative root 2 over 2. All right, so we're going to have, this is going to become 2 times negative root 2 over 2. And then 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 1. Final answer is negative root 2. Okay, and that's option C. Alright, let's move on to question 17. It says draw angle 133 in standard position and find its reference angle. Alright, so to draw that, this is just a sketch. We're more concerned with what quadrant it ends in. So we have a positive angular measure here, so that means we're going to be rotating counterclockwise. Alright, remember clockwise is negative. So starting from 0, quarter of a circle is 90 degrees. Too small, keep going. Another quarter is 180 by adding 90. That's too big. That means 133 should reside somewhere between these two in quadrant number 2. Alright, so this is the angle swept by 133. This angle right here. The reference angle is the measure from the terminal side to the closest x. Okay, the closest x to the terminal side right here is this angle right here. So that goes the reference angle theta r. Alright, so your reference angle, theta reference, is simply going to be, this is 133, right? The angle of separation between these two, which is 180 minus 133 degrees. Final answer is, see, 47 degrees. 47 degrees. That's your reference angle. Alright, so let's see which one matches. This is a good one, so yeah, actually, our answer is option A. Alright. Alright, let's move on to question 18. Says, which is the simplified form of this rational expression right here? So you have negative 5x plus 5x squared over negative 30x plus 30. So let's take out the numerator first and factor it. Numerator is negative 5x plus 5x squared. So let's break that down. We're going to have negative 5 times x plus 5 times x times x. We can take out 5x. So we're left with we have 5x on the outside, negative 1 plus x. Okay. All right. And then the denominator, we're going to factor negative 30x plus 30. So 30 breaks down into 2 times 3 times 5 times x, and then 30 breaks down into 2 times 3 times 5. Alright, so we can clearly see here, we can factor out 2 times 3 times 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. So we have 2 times 3, 6, I'm sorry, it's 30, so we have negative, factoring out positive 30 actually. So when we factor out positive 30, alright, so let's go ahead and do this one again. So we have the numerator. The numerator is negative 5x plus 5x squared. Let's break that down. That's basically negative 5 times x plus 5 times x times x. So I can take out a 5 and also an x. Let me factor out the minus. If I factor out a minus, it's going to be minus 5x and then 1, and then this sign changes to a negative minus x. Okay. Alright, let's do the denominator. For the denominator, we have negative 30x plus 30. So I can break this down to negative 2 times 3 times 5 times x plus 2 times 3 times 5. So we take out a 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, and then a negative. That's negative 30 times x minus 1. Okay? times x minus 1. Alright, so we can divide these two. We have negative 5x over 1 minus x divided by negative 30 times x minus 1. We can switch the order of the denominator and change the sign, so it becomes negative 5x times 1 minus x over positive 30 times 1 minus x. Okay, these two divide out, so we have negative 5x over 30